Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about sex with Taurus, and it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Well, anyway, people, the first thing I'll look at as far as sex with Taurus, well, Taurus can really be really like the antithesis of Aries in many ways as far as sex goes, because Aries often likes to be very quick, impulsive, spontaneous, have a lot of sexual experiences with their partner, but not necessarily have them last long. Well, Taurus likes to have it to go at a very methodical, at a slow pace, and they really like to have each moment be very enduring and last a good amount of time. Taurus, and not just about being methodical, they like to have that little prelude before the main event, so to speak. They love to have a lot of foreplay. Taurus is not exactly about initiative and enterprise, and even in sex it can apply this way. Taurus might take a while to get started. They may often like to maybe sit down, eat, relax a little, even before having sex. And the thing about Taurus is they are people that can have a very exorbitant libido. It may not come out as strong as first as opposed to, say, the sign Aries, but Taurus does have often has a very strong sexual energy and expression. And the thing about Taurus is they like, as I stated before, they like to have that prelude, they like to have that foreplay. The erogenous zone with Taurus is that neck and throat area, and they often like to have that kiss, have that touch during their lovemaking. And the thing about Taurus as well, as far as sex goes, and their environment, they don't want, Aries can be the type that may have the sex virtually any place and not necessarily worry about who's hearing it, whereas Taurus, it being so private, Taurus likes to have their little quiet spot, their little secluded area, peaceful, tranquil area, the familiar surroundings like their home. Maybe if they may go out to a hotel and do something, but they're really more private in the manner in which they do it than a lot of other signs. Taurus, of course, is a feminine sign, and of course it's introverted. And Taurus when as far as sex goes with them, they can make a very loyal, steadfast, and persistent sexual companion. They are really somebody. Taurus is a person that they could have a very voracious appetite for sex. It's not just their regular appetite with food, but sex as well. And Taurus really, you look at this sign, and the libido, as far as Taurus goes, it could be very strong. It's very exceptional, to say the least. They like to be enticed often by fragrances. Their senses are very strong. I'd say this kind of facetiously, kind of seriously. When you look at Taurus and sex, be careful if you have a cold or cough if you're going to have some lovemaking with Taurus, because Taurus is very susceptible to colds and coughs. If I remember correctly, I believe I picked up something from someone after one of our interludes, if you know what I'm saying, an interlude I had with someone one time. And as many of you may know, I have Taurus rising, and sure enough, if I remember right, I got it like the next day from her. So the thing about it is, you just have to be very careful as far as that goes with Taurus, especially. Now, also with Taurus too, what's interesting is that in a solar or natal chart, Sagittarius often falls on the cusp of the 8th house, which further, I think, validates this the fact that Taurus is not just very sexual. They could actually have sex with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm, a lot more than a lot of people may actually think. And Keep in mind that Virgo may often fall on the fifth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Taurus, and I think that's why they don't. Part of the reason they don't like to express their affections a lot of times with a partner that openly. And even if you say if in some charts Leo is on the cusp of the fifth, it often can either have Virgo intercepted in the fifth or have a lot of Virgo degrees in it, so that can play a role as well. And Taurus really, they are not really, when they have Taurus, when they have sex, they often like to really get down to the nitty gritty. I mean, they like the foreplay, granted, but they're not really into all these toys. I mean, Taurus is not really about bringing original sex toys into the bedroom. They just very basic and fundamental. They just like to really, they have the foreplay, and then they like to get to the heart of the matter after that. But they do like to have sustained sexual intercourse with others. And Taurus is really, as far as a sexual companion goes, of course, the other two earth signs, Capricorn and Virgo, are compatible. And you have Taurus too, and being I mean, just in general, they could be very possessive, and they could be very possessive of their sexual partner. And that's why, like say an air sign would not really be compatible with Taurus. I mean, you have Aquarius, which is very freedom oriented. Aquarius is about ingenuity and innovation. They like to have new things in the bedroom, do new things that are unique, that are associated with sex. Well, Taurus is really, can be very orthodox and very conventional. And Gemini is a sign that doesn't want to be pinned down or tied down, maybe sometimes literally tied down when they want it. But as far as just in general, Taurus being possessive as they are, and Gemini likes to be that free bird, much like Aquarius. They really, that's another reason why it would not really work with them. Of course, Scorpio can be very compatible with Taurus in a romantic / sexual relationship. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for sex with Taurus, and stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about sex with Gemini. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.